Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel in the first place. Today we have a Bakugou Katsuki, ex-chubby listener, and I don't have much to say, so let's just get into it. You grew up in a loving household, but the love you received wasn't from your parents, but the help that was hired. Your parents were multimillionaires who simply had too much work on their hands to deal with you. They worked as sponsors who promoted merchandise for popular or upcoming heroes, even sometimes making suits for them. Your mother was beautiful. Her quirk was floating, which was great for putting up decorations and perfect for catwalks when showing new suits. While your father looked stern and stoic, his quirk was something you were never sure of. He could make the wind pick up to cast an airy feeling over the models, but at the same time little clouds would fade in and out of nowhere. Maybe the clouds were the source of his power? Could he be able to control the weather to an extent? You weren't really sure. Your quirk was a combination of the two. You could just float like your mother, though you didn't ever test out how far you could, and at the same time you could control the wind however you please. But just like your father, small clouds appeared around you when you use it. Sometimes, if you focused really hard, you'd be able to make little raindrops fall from them into your hands, never ceasing to amaze the maids when they found out about your cute but powerful quirk. But it did take a bit of time to improve it. You loved your parents so much, but they never gave you any kind of attention, possibly a card on your birthday, but nothing much. You knew to get their attention you'd have to become a great hero to make them notice you. How proud they would be to have their own daughter be the best hero out there representing them. You spent most of your time surrounded by the maids and cooks, who treated you like a little sibling. And for the older ones, they treated you like their kid. You learned how to cook and keep your room spotless, but still homey. The maids babied you for the longest time and fed you well. You always gave them your thanks, but this being said, you grew to be quite the chubby young teen to a chubby older teen. Being this way came with a price, and a harsh one at that. Bullies. They were fucking everywhere, apparently, and all against you, so you had to learn the harsh way of how to stick up for yourself. Sure, you believed in a better world where no violence was needed to solve a problem, but this wasn't always the case. Growing up, you got into trouble for beating the shit out of some kids. Yes, the maids who cared for you were upset when you came home with a bruised fist, and even more a beat-up face, but they also understood the little shits probably deserved it. You were content with yourself, and you didn't completely hate how you looked, and soon learned self-respect and love, only if it weren't for that fucking bastard Bakugou Katsuki. In middle school, he'd make fun of you for being an oddball out of all the other girls. You didn't like him one bit, but as long as he didn't spread rumors about you or physically try anything, you couldn't care less what he thought. If something said, say it to your face, or that's when the real trouble starts, and that's why he liked you. Katsuki always had an eye on you for being the second person in middle school who always got into trouble while still being very intelligent. He liked a person who didn't squeal when a bug crossed the room or when the lights shut off. He didn't exactly like weak people, and you weren't weak. You held yourself with pride and confidence. Katsuki wouldn't say, but he also liked your figure. A full one, the curves and cute chubbiness that lay behind the clothes you wore. Soft-looking lips, and subtle but defined features of your chest. Beautiful hair that fit your face perfectly. Little things that made you, well, you, he admired so much. The fact that you were your own hero made him even more intrigued in you. So, of course, he wasn't surprised that you got into the hero program. The only thing wrong was that he hated showing any emotion that wasn't irritated. He did call you names when you got in his way, though he never meant it. Wholeheartedly, he knew that you never took it to heart. You were too tough to do so. You were in the same class as him. Lucky him, huh? Though you never really paid attention to Katsuki, being focused on impressing your parents, and after they finally noticed you, when you got into the hero program, you slowly started to keep an eye on him, since he had always caused a disturbance in class, and you sat close to the back and kept mostly to yourself. Today was training and Aizawa was picking pairs. You listened for your name, and you were paired up with Bakugou Katsuki, of all people. He looked back at you and made a mean face, but before turning around you swore you could have seen a bit of pink flash across it. Oh, well, if anything, it was just him getting angry over the fact that you're gonna whip his ass. Everyone suited up and got with their respective partners. Katsuki couldn't stop glancing at you, and that's what really started to tick you off. Finally, you turned to him and stared real hard with an annoyed gaze. What do you want? Are you gonna keep staring at me or start stretching? 'Cause I don't plan on going easy on you, and I'm sure you won't either. So quit looking at me like that, Bakugou. Your eyes had a very serious yet calm look at them, as his were aggressive and fiery. "Shut up and don't try to flatter yourself, fat ass. I wasn't looking at you. I was seeing where your weak spot was, but I guess it's just everywhere with a body like yours. I'm pretty angry that I'm up against such an easy opponent, and there's no need to stretch. It'll be over as soon as it starts." He huffed and looked forward as Aizawa motioned for everybody to get into fighting positions, as everyone bowed to their partner before they got into stance. "The first one to be knocked down or out is the loser. Begin." Aizawa stepped back, and everyone began using their quirks or natural fighting techniques to knock the other down. You stared at Katsuki, waiting for the first move to be made. He lunged at you, fist ready to take you out, but halfway through his initial move, you threw your hands out and clapped them together, sending a gust of wind his way. It threw him off, but he quickly recovered. He tried again, and this time had successfully hit you. He threw his hand on the left side of your face and set off an explosion. You were a bit too late jumping away because of your body, so he had scratched up your cheek and ear. You panicked a bit, not wanting him to win, so you heated up the air around you and mixed it with the cold air, creating a foggy scene around you. He looked cautiously through the fog, determined to take you down and show how he could never lose, or would never lose. Katsuki caught a glimpse of you through the thickened fog and sent a blast of explosion your way. It almost knocked you down, but thankfully you caught yourself with the wind and were able to stay up. That's when you took the chance to kick him right in the face, and if you do say yourself, a pretty cool backflip at that too. Katsuki staggered back and you pulled your hands to your chest, forcing the fog to go right for his feet and legs. With that, you had won. A victorious smile was shown proudly on your face as you walked up to him and held out your plump hand. "Though I hate to see such a prideful man fall, it was enjoyable to show you what I'm worth." Your smile turned into a kind one. "You did great, Bakugou." The fog was slowly clearing up, but it wasn't completely gone. He was looking at you through his hand, covering up a big pink blush on his face, and the next thing you saw was him quickly getting up and kissing you directly on the lips. Your eyes widened and looked at him. His were closed. He had soft but cool lips. What was this? Didn't he like himself, or whatever? Why you, though? Actually, why not you? You were pretty much the whole package, right? Still, it surprised you a little bit. His hands rested on your wide hips, and once he was finished, you were still in so much shock that you fell down to your hands and knees. You looked up at him, mouth wide open. The fog cleared up, and it turned out that everyone had been waiting for you two. They saw you sitting on the floor with minimal damage, and Bakugou standing tall in front of you, with a bloodied lip and nose, and a slight pink face, but they guessed that was from the battle. "Bakugou, I knew you'd win, but what took so long?" Denki said as he walked away from you, and Suyu and Midoriya came up to help you up. He looked back at you while everyone was still walking to class. Again, you could have sworn you saw a smirk on his face while your face got hot. "What? He lost and now he's taking credit for winning?" "You okay, listener?" Midoriya asked, and you nodded, dusting yourself off. Yeah, I was just a little startled. You guessed that everything that happened today would happen again, but the next time you'd be the one to win and get credit for it. Alright, thank you for listening. I want to apologize for any mistakes in this because I messed up quite a few times. Either way, I hope you enjoy. Have a great rest of your day, night, evening, afternoon, whatever it is, and goodbye!